Yes, yes, yes. So you've been to Lavas for this. Welcome back to Sacred Harmony, where we pause the noise of the outside world to listen inward. I am Pragya Malvia, and today's episode is about something all of us at some point have felt: the exhaustion of running in a race we never signed up for. In a culture that glorifies hustle, comparison, and endless achievement, it's easy to lose touch with who we are beyond our titles, grades, or paychecks. And often, even when we win, we're left asking, why does it still feel like something's missing? And it always happens this way. So, to help us untangle this, I am joined by Mridula Agarwal, who is a trauma recovery expert and founder of iReAwake, who has guided thousands to rediscover their inner compass. Today, we'll explore how to stop running on autopilot and begin walking in true alignment with ourselves. First of all, thank you, Mridula. Thank you for being on our show. And I'm so glad and I'm so honored to host you today.
Thank you so much, Pragya, for having me on your show today. I am really excited to be part of this yet again. And of course, this is a very interesting topic that we are discussing: lost in the rat race. So, in my 40 odd years of existence, I have been a culprit of being a participant in this rat race too. And let's be honest, who isn't? We start our lives as a toddler, as an infant, and at that point of time, we are playing with our toys, we are watching the external world, we are looking at our parents. The mom is cooking at home, or maybe she's working, the father is going out, and he's coming back with gifts and paychecks, and all our needs are being met. And in that moment, we are just immersed in our own world, dreaming. Then we will grow up, we will roam the world, we will travel to countries, be doing some fancy stuff. We will have a big house, a big car, whatever. I don't know. This is what we are actually dreaming. And in that moment, we don't know where we are gonna be stuck in some kind of a rat race, or if there needs to be a race to even get to that. And as we start growing up, society already, in its own way, nudges us. As a child, you get told that, dancing is not going to take you anywhere. You should not waste your time on dancing, on singing, on playing cricket, or wasting time with craft. Leave all of that and now go back to your studies. Your boards are coming. Your 12th class exams are just on the brink. Have you prepared enough for the CET, for the entrance, for that PMT, for God knows what kind of entrance we need for, all the arts and humanities subjects? And then starts the whole obsession that, you've not gotten into an elite school. You are not getting grades good enough to be admitted into even a state or a local university. Your parents had to buy a seat for you. And somehow the way we look at ourselves change with those questions when they're pointed at us. Rather than looking inwards, what we really want, we start becoming answerable to the expectations of the world around us. And we start measuring ourselves with their compass, with their needle, with their barometers as to who we are and what we should be doing. And if we are not meeting their standards, hence we are a failure. And the gross miscalculation happens because somewhere in the whole process, we end up devaluing our own self. That what we really wanted, was that even worthy? Do we have right to feel like a failure because we did not qualify by someone else's standard? And what were our original standards? Were they worthy of being notified? Like if someone is dreaming to be a full-time traveler, 10 years back, some people would have called that person a mad dreamer. And today we know that we are in an economy, we are in a space where even the world travelers are earning lakhs and lakhs of rupees, and they're doing it as a full-time profession. We are so much tied down by the limitation of thought of our current generation that we fail to notice the opportunities that may get created tomorrow, and we may hang up our boots even before we have ventured out. And this is how we get trapped in this rat race. We feel there is only one way, and there is only one way to just follow the rule by the book. You do your schooling, you make sure you have enough good grades to land up into some Ivy College or Ivy League university, and you should have some well performing subject like I or biotech, whatever is, the in thing of that era. You should ace it. And then you land at yourself a good job, maybe marry well, have children, have a good spouse, and you are set. And in my personal experience, I was just waiting for that moment when I can be me. Then I can just, bypass this whole template, live by it, and finally I will feel free. But sadly, that day never came. Because by the time I reached to the point where I had checked all the boxes, I had literally lost my own self. I had no idea what was happening, why I felt so fatigued, burnt out, and disconnected from myself and from everybody around me. Why those social gatherings were not fulfilling me but were tiring me down. Why those paychecks felt like a sword hanging on my head every month. Why I felt that the life that I have created holds no meaning for me. Because somewhere along the way, in order to create this life, I sacrificed all versions of me, all parts of me that knew how to love, that excelled in creativity, that enjoyed doing things in pure flow, the parts of me which didn't think much, but would create some kind of a castle out of nothing. That part of me which knew that irrespective of whatever happens, things will work out. Because somewhere the entire template of the world and the programming around us, it overrides the inner compass that we have of who we are. How exactly do we need to navigate the world? As a child, I knew I had some special skills, but I never knew they were deployable into full time professions. And there was no template in the world that allowed me to relook it from a lens that it can be pursued as a successful career. I never knew that in the process of not listening to my true inner compass, I would land up being depressed because the farther away you are from your own real self, the more disconnected, discontented, depressed you will become. Where having a life will feel like a life of burden, where you do not want to be in a rat race. And then after a while, you feel it's too late. I've already done a degree in XYZ subject. I'm already an engineer. I cannot go back and learn psychology now. You feel it's too late to back out because you're already far, far in. And if you now at this age makes at the age of 30, at the age of 35, now make a new progress, make a new transgression into a different field, you will be having to start with zero. Now, this is where majority of the people get stuck because either they do not recall what is it that is sticking them. They haven't found the one thing that makes them feel alive. It could be music, it could be sitting in the nature, it could be listening to the sounds of birds, it could be decoding the world in a different way, it could be painting, it could be sculpture, it could be anything. Either they haven't found things that makes them tick, or maybe they feel they are not going to create some kind of true income and true life out of it, or they feel it's too late to start. It's in between all of these three parameters we get lost. And truly speaking, we are not lost in the rat race. We are just lost in our own head. We are tied up in our own emotions because part of us wants to experience and another part of us wants to create things which are sensible. Most of the times, it's about an integration, trying to find one thing. Let's say even it is something creative. Let's say you like something which is textile or pottery or some kind of creative thing. You still need to then manage your courage and align yourself logically to those fields which will allow you to create a career out of that. That is the only way to ensure that you are not lost in a rat race. And quite often, this task is not easy because look at it. People who are deeply spiritual can be extremely logical and could be into the field which is completely so-called divergent, like say data analytics or architecture. But have you not seen buildings which are purely, I would say, a spiritual experience, visiting a place which gives you the essence or that feeling of divinity? Feels like, for example, dancing and teaching. But have you not met teachers who are very good dancers, and who can actually teach you the essence of dancing as if it is some spiritual experience, who can not only train your body, but also can train your mind, can also shape your character in the whole process. Have you never met someone who is very good into sports, but is pursuing a degree of, let's say, engineer? I think it's a household story. But how many times have we seen that people who are very good in sports, the way they think, they ideate, they are so much spontaneous, they have that discipline, determination, grit. Quite often, those traits which are trained and honed on the ground are the ones that they end up utilizing while they're doing sales, marketing, engineering, building structures of buildings, or whether they are building business empires. Those were not the traits they acquired in their engineering class. Those were the traits they acquired on the ground. The only way to ensure that you're not lost in the rat race is to recognize what truly moves you, even if it is which you may feel is a non-commercial field, like maybe, for example, some kind of content writing, poetry, or traditional fields like maybe even housekeeping. If you feel it is not going to be rewarding enough for you and you quit it, that is the quickest way to ensure that you will be lost in a rat race, because then you're not utilizing the gifts which are unique to you. And anything which you end up doing for your life, day in and day out, something that you do not enjoy, but you are forced to do, eventually that's going to be the death of you. So to sum up the today's show, I would say that you're not lost in a rat race. None of us is. We are just lost in the process of finding out the middle between the two extremes. The failure is not to choose one of it. The failure is not find a way how to combine all the parts, all the visions of us into one sustainable life. Something that we are too happy to create and too obsessed to live in, and not get burnt out, not get disconnected, but get elevated, get more brighter and more wise each and every. That is the way and only way in which anyone can create happiness and success in their whole life.
That is so, so true, Mridula. And I genuinely thank you for, bringing this up and actually letting people know, that rat race is not always, just being into something, which everybody wants you to be in. And you rightly mentioned, that we've met so many people. We probably have, people around us who are actually good at something else, but they're doing something else because of the pressure or because of the society or because of the trend of the generation, as you mentioned. For me, the truth is that our worth, it was never meant to be measured this way, like in medals or paychecks or applauses or in the trends or, in those lavish lifestyle checks that you genuinely don't want, but that is something that you do out of, responsibility, pressure, and everything.
So I think the benchmark of success is very different. When you follow when you follow a template of the outside world, then you are comparing yourself to their standards, which is what kind of car you own, what kind of brands you wear, where do you have a house? Are you on rent or do you have your own home? Do you have a husband or do you not have a husband or a partner? These are the external measurements. But the measurement of an inner compass is very different. The measurement of inner compass is usually starting with the first question: am I happy? Am I healthy? Do I go to bed happy and relieved? Do I wake up fresh and energized, looking forward to my day? Or the whole process just kills me? Am I someone who is contributing good for my family? Am I bringing something of value to the world? Or am I just, like an animal, I'm just grazing the pastures and my day will end because I have grazed my pastures. I have done my work, I've earned my money, and that's it. So the whole compass is very different. When someone gets internally driven and internally motivated, then the questions they ask themselves are very different. And in that moment, if somebody says, "Hey, how much money did you earn?" The answer would not be that, this is XYZ I earned. The answer will be, "Hey, whatever I earn, I'm happy. This is the happiness I created for myself." And the billionaires are unhappy too, and the poor are unhappy too. I don't think there is any relation to the money and the unhappiness, but you should know where you are standing, what exactly is driving you. your own success, what does that mean to you? Is it only money? Is it only about being answerable to thousands of other people whom you don't even know? Or do you measure your success in terms of how much happy are you while pursuing your journey of success in your own? Quite often, those two buckets get segregated. But the key to find the right combination is to know to create a journey in which you're happy, satisfied, and monetarily successful, and relationship wise successful, and you are raising right children. And in the whole process, you have not given away your health. And you're also responsible towards your friends and family and citizens at large. And you have also been able to encash all your gifts for making place a better world. A definition of success is a very far fetched and very elaborate definition. Some people may have landed one aspect of it, another may have completely missed all aspects. So when we say rat race, I beg to differ when somebody just compare paycheck to paycheck. I really do not think that is the right way to look at any kind of race. I don't think two lives are comparable. The two circumstances are comparable. Two different people will take two different decisions in the same circumstances. Their stories are very different. So when two people cannot be compared, the two races cannot be compared. There's nothing to compare.
So true, so true. I genuinely, buy that advice and the insight basically. There is nothing like comparison, as you mentioned. Everybody actually has their own story to speak about. Everybody has their own starting points, and there are points wherein, they realize what is the best for them and what not is. And all of us are genuinely going through our own lives, and it's the first time for everybody. So comparing, judging, feeling lesser or feeling very highly about yourself, it will just lead you to unsatisfactory positions, and is so rightly pointed out. And yes, that is so, so true.
So I hope anyone who is caught up in that dilemma of being in a rat race and living up to someone else's expectation, I would strongly recommend that person to take a reality check and check in your own heart, in your own body. Are you happy? Are you comfortable going down that path? Or does it give you jitters? Does your body feel heavy? Do you get anxiety? Or something which you have labeled as procrastination, but is actually a part of you telling you, don't do this. You don't like it. You hate it. Before you make judgments about others or you make choices about your own life, check with your own emotions, check with your own soul. Is this path gonna lead you to a place where you will be revitalized every day, where you will look forward to life every day? Can you be happy even if you die doing this thing? If the answers to all of those questions are yes, then you are at the right path. However, if you're sitting in an office which you absolutely hate, you're doing work which you absolutely hate, you're traveling 3 to 4 hours a day, killing yourself in a car which you have bought from loan, living in a house which doesn't belong to you, and you are creating a map for yourself in which you know you will potentially be away from your children, away from your parents, away from your spouse, away from your friends, then know for sure that you're trapped and you need to change. So this is my message for today. You are not lost in a rat race. You're just lost in your own head. So if once you clarify that map, once you lift up all of those burdens, then the clarity will appear to you step by step.
So true, so true. And thank you so much, Mridula, for sorry. Thank you so much for reminding us about all the mess up that we make in our minds and in our head, and wherein we're just stuck in our own questions. And thank you for pointing that out. Also, to our listeners, please let this be your reminder that you're allowed to stop running sometimes, to pause and to listen inward, to talk about yourself, to talk about what you want. That is something that you really should do. And as Mridula rightly suggested, that success is different for everybody. Find your own path, start walking on your own path, and yes, you'll find something that interests you way sooner. And I am Pragya Malvia, and thank you for joining me on Sacred Harmony. Until next time, stay grounded, stay present and remember that your inner compass has never left you. It's been waiting all along. It's just you. You just have to reach out to it and find your own way. Thank you so much. And I thank you, Mridula, for being on the show. You've given such wonderful insights and you've talked about a topic that actually needed a lot of, you know, representation. So thank you for doing that.
Thank you so much, Pragya, for having me on the show. And thank you for allowing me to share my own two bits about something that I feel so passionate about. Thank you so much for being a wonderful education host.